Okay, Act 1. Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Scene 1. Elsinore, a platform for the castle. Who's there? Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself. Long live the king. Bernardo? He. You come most carefully upon your hour. 'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco. For this relief much thanks, 'tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart. Have you had quiet guard? Not a mouth stirring. Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste. I think I hear them. Stand, ho! Who's there? Friends to this ground, and liegemen to the Dane, give you good night. Away, farewell, honest soldier, who hath relieved you? Bernardo has my place, give you good night. Holla, Bernardo. Say, what is Horatio there? A piece of him. Welcome, Horatio, welcome, good Marcellus. What, has this thing appeared again tonight? I have seen nothing. Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it. Tush, 'twill not appear. Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears. Let us both fortify against our story. What we two
Enemies are
nights
dropping
have seen.
into the area. Watch the skies.
Well, sit we down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this. Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven what now it burns, Marcellus and myself the bells and beating one. Peace, break thee off, look where it comes again. In the same figure like the king's that's dead. Thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio. Look it not like the king, mark it, Horatio. Most like it harrows me with fear and wonder, it would be spoke to. Question it, Horatio. What art thou that usurped this time of night together with that fair and warlike form, in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven I charge thee, speak. It is offended. See, it stalks away. Stay, speak, I charge thee, speak. 'Tis gone, and will not answer. How now, Horatio, you tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on't? Before my God, I might not this believe without the sensible and true avouch to my own eyes. Is it not like the king? As thou art to thyself, such was the very armor he had on when he was ambitious, Norway took at it. So frowned he once, when he in angry parley he smote the sledded pollux on the ice. 'Tis strange. Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour. With martial stalk hath he gone by our watch. In what particular plot work I do not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state. Good now, sit down and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily cast the brazen cannon, and foreign march for implements of war, why such empress of shipwrights, those sore tasks does not divide the Sunday from the week. What might be toward that this sweaty haste doth make the night joint laborer with the day? Who is't that can inform me? That can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, but Fortinbras of Norway, thereto pricked on by a most emulate pride, dared to the combat in which our valiant Hamlet, who so this side of our known world esteemed him, did slay this Fortinbras, who, by a sealed compact well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with his life all those his lands which he stood seized of, to the conqueror, against the which a moiety competent was gauged by our king, which had returned to the inheritance of Fortinbras. Had he been vanquisher, as by the same covenant, and carriage of the article designed, his fell to Hamlet. Now, sir, young Fortinbras, or unimproved mental hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there sharked up a list of lawless resolutes, for food and diet to some enterprise that hath a stomach in't, which is no other, as it doth well appear unto our state, but to recover us by strong hand in terms compulsative, those for said lands so by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, the source of this our watch and the chief head of this post-haste and rummage in the land. I think it be no other but ain't so. Well, made sort that this important figure comes armed through our watch. So like the king that was, and is the question of these wars. A mote it is to trouble the mind's eye in the most high and palmy state of Rome. A little ere the mightiest Julius fell. The grave stood tenantless, and the sheet of dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets, as stars were strained to fire and dews of blood. Disasters in the sun, the moist star upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse. And even the like precursor fierce events, as harbingers preceding still the fates and prologue to the omen coming on. Have heaven and earth together demonstrated unto our climatures and countrymen, but soft. Behold, lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it, though it blast me. Stay, illusion. If thou hast any sound, or use a voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done, that may be thee to ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, always speak. Or if thou hast uphoarded in thy life extorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which they say you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it, stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus. Shall I strike at it with my partisan? Do, if it will not stand. 'Tis here, 'tis here. 'Tis gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical, to offer it to the show of violence, for it is in the air invulnerable, and our own veins blows malicious mockery. It was about to speak then, when the cock crew. And then it started like gilly thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock that is the trumpet to the morn doth with his lofty and shrill sounded throat awake the god of day. And at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or day, the extravagant and erring spirit hides his confine. And of the truth herein this present object made probation. It faded on the crone of the cock. Some say that ever against the season comes wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated. The bird of dawning singeth all night long. And then they say no spirit can walk abroad. The nights are wholesome, and no planet strike. No fairy takes, nor a witch hath power to charm. So hallowed and so gracious is the time. So have I heard, and do it in part believe it. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastern hill. A break we are watched up, and by my advice let us impart from what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for upon my life this spirit dumb to us will speak to him. Do you consent we shall appoint him with it, as needful in our loves, fitting our duty? Let's do it, I pray, and I hate this forenoon, where we shall find him most conveniently. Scene 2, a room of state in the castle. Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it is befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and their whole kingdom to be consecrated in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. That for our something sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress of this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with one auspicious and one dropping eye, with mirth and funeral, and with dirge and marriage. In equal swell we on delight and dole taken to wife, nor have we herein barred your battle wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. Now follows you no young Fortin Bras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking about our late dear brother's death, our state to be disjoint and out of frame. Colleagued with the dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father with all bands of law, to our most valiant brother. So much for him. Now for ourselves and for this time of meeting. Thus much this business is, we have here a writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortin Bras, who impotent and bedrid scarcely hears of this his nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gait herein, and that the levies, the lists in full proportion, are all made out of this subject. And we here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Voltimand, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway, giving to you no further personal power to business with the king, and more than the scope of these dilated articles allow. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty. And that in all things will we show our duty. We doubted nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What's its, Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane, and lose your voice. What wouldst thou beg, Laertes? That shall not be my offer, not thy asking. The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes? Dread, my lord, your leave and favour to return in France, from whence thou willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now I must confess, that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again towards France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon. Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius? He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laboursome petition, and at last upon his will I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go. Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now my cousin Hamlet and my son, a little more than kin, and less than kind. How is it that the clouds still hang on you? Not so, my lord, I am too much I the sun. Good Hamlet, cast thy noted colour off, and let thy eye look a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common, all that live must die, passing through nature to eternity. Aye, madam, it is common. If it be, why seems it so particular with thee? Seems, madam? Nay, it is. I know not seems, 'tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath. No, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected behaviour of the visage. Together with all forms, modes, shows of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show. These were the trappings and the suits of woe. 'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father, but you must know your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligations for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to preserve her in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled, for what we know must be and is as common as any the most vulgar thing to sense. Why should we in our peevish opposition take it to heart? Fie, 'tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried, from the first course till he that died today. This must be so. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest fathers bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent is going back to school in Wittenberg. It is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier cousin and our son. Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee, stay with us, go not to Wittenberg. I shall in all my best obey you, madam. Why, 'tis a loving affair reply. Be thyself in Denmark, madam, come. This gentle and unforced court of Hamlet sits smiling in my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today. But to the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the kings rouse the heavens shall brute skin, re-speak in earthly thunder, come away. Oy, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. O God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fight on't I fight, 'tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely that it should come to this, but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not two, so excellent a keen it was to this. Hyperion to a satire so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the wind of heaven, visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth must I remember, why she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what I fed on, and yet within a month let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month or ere these shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe, all tears, why even she, O we God, a beast that once discourse of reason, would have mourned longer, married with mine uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had let the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. Oy, must wicked speed to post with such dexterity so incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue. Hail to your lordship. I am glad to see you well, Horatio, or I do forget myself. The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever. Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. And what makes you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus? My good lord, I'm very glad to see you. Good, even, sir. But what's the face of you from Wittenberg? A truant disposition, sir, my lord. I will not give you any mistake, though, nor can you do mine ear that violence. To make a trust of your own report against yourself. I know you're no truant, but what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart. My lord, I came to see your father's funeral. I pray thee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding. Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon. Thrift, Horatio, the funeral baked meats did call to furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had had my dearest foe in heaven, ere I had ever seen that day, Horatio. My father, methinks I see my father. Oi, where my lord? In my mind's eye, Horatio. I saw him once, he was a good king. He was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again. My lord, I think I saw him yesternight. Saw who? My lord, the king your father. The king, my father. Season your admiration for a while with an attent ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you. For God's love left me here. 2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch. In the dead vast middle of the night, been thus encountered a figure like your father, armed at points exactly. Cape Ape appears before them, and with sullen march goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and fierce surprised eyes, within his truncheon's length, while say distilled almost to jelly with active fear. Stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy, in part they did. And I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, whereas they had delivered both in time, form of the thing each word made true, and good the apparition comes. I knew your father, these hands are not to come more light. But where was this? My lord, upon the platform where we watched. Did you not speak to it? My lord, I did. But answer made it none, yet once methought I lifted up its head and did address itself to motion like it, as it would speak. But even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk in haste away and vanished from our sight. Hey, will you take me to get some food? Burger King or something? Okay. But even that in the morning cock crew loud, but at the sound it shrunk in haste away but vanished from our sight. 'Tis very strange, as I do live, my honor lord, 'tis true, and we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it. Indeed, sir, the position troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight? We do, my lord. Armed, say you? Armed, my lord, from top to toe? My lord, from head to foot. Then saw you not his face? Oh, yes, my lord, he wore his beaver up. What looked he frowningly? The countenance more in sorrow than in anger. Pale or red? Nay, very pale, and fixed his eyes upon you? Most constantly. I would I had been there. It would have been much amaze you, very like, stated long, while one with moderate haste might tell 100. Longer. Not when I saw it. His beard was grizzled, no? It was, as I have seen it in his life, a sable silvered. I will watch tonight, perchance 'twill walk again. I warrant it will. If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tentable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall hap tonight.
Do you find it amusing?
Give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your loves. So fare you well. Upon the platform twixt 11 and 12 I'll visit you. our duty to your honor. Your love is mine to you, farewell. My father's spirit in arms, all is not well. I doubt some foul play. With the night were come, till then sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, o'er all the earth will realm them to men's eyes. Scene 3, a room in Polonius's house. My necessaries are embarked, farewell, and sister, as the winds give benefit, and convoy is assistance, do not sleep, but let me hear from you. Do you doubt that? For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion, a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature. Forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, not more. No more but so? Think it no more. For nature crescent does not grow alone and fuse in bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soul knocks. Coital doth besmirch the virtue of his will. But you must fear his greatness weighed, his will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and the health of the whole state. And therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto the voice and yielding of that body, wherefore he is the head. Then if he says he loves you, it fish your wisdom so far to believe it, as he in his particular act and place may give his saying deed, which is no further than the man, voice of Denmark, goes withal. Then weigh that loss your honor may sustain, if what to present ear you list his songs, or lose your heart or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. The chariot's maid is prodigal enough, if she unmasks the beauty of the moon. Virtue her scalp escapes not calumnious strokes. The canker galls the entrance of the spring too oft before the buttons be disclosed, and in the morn and liquid dew of youth, contagious blasphemous and menace. He weary then, best safely lies in fear to himself rebels, though none is near. I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But good, my brother, do not, as some ungracious passion do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst like a puff and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and reckons not his own reed. Oi, fear me not. I stay too long, but here my father comes. A double blessing and a double grace. Occasion smiles upon second leave. Yet here, lairds, aboard for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these for precepts in thy memory, thou look character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act, be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. The friends thou hast and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Be aware of interest to a quarrel, but be an end bear't that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's situation, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressing fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims a man. And they in France of the best rank and station are most select and generous, chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night to thee day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessed season this in thee. Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord. The time invites you, go your servants tend. Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you. 'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it. Farewell. What is't, Ophelia, he has said to you? So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet. Marry, well bethought. 'Tis told me he has very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have your audience been most free and bounteous. If it be so, as so 'tis put on me. And that in way of caution I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly, and it behoves my daughter in your honor. What is between you, give me up the truth. He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me. Affection, pooh! You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them? I do not know, my lord. What should I think? Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby, that you have tanned these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or not to crack the wind of the poor phrase. Running it thus, you'll tender me a fool. My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion. I fashion you may cause go to, and hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven. I springest to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul leads the tongue vows. These blazes, daughters giving more light than heat, distinct in both, even their promise, as it is making. You must not take for fire. From this time be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence, set your entreatments at a higher rate than a commandment to parley. For Lord Hamlet believes so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. And few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investments show, but more implorators of unholy suits, breathing like sanctified and pious bawds, better beguile. This is for all. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth have you to slander any moment's leisure, as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it. I charge you, come your ways. I shall obey, my lord. Scene 4, the platform. The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold, Burger King. It is nipping air and eager air. What hour now? I think it lacks the 12. No, it is struck. Indeed, I heard a knock, then draws near the season, when the spirit helps one to walk. What does this mean, my lord? The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse. Keeps for sale the swaggering of spring reels. And as he drains his draught to Greenwich down, the kettle rung and trumpets doth bray out the triumph of its pledge. Call it duty. Is it a custom? Aye, merit is, but to my mind, though I am a native here, and to the manner born, it is a custom more honored in a breach than the observance. This heavy-headed rebel, east and west, makes us traduce and tax of other nations. They clep as drunkards, and with swinish phrase toil our addition, and indeed it takes from our achievements, though performed at height, the pith and marrow of our attribute. So often chances it in particular men that it were some vicious mole of nature in them, as in their birth, wherein they are not guilty, since nature cannot choose his origin. By the auric grown of some complexion, oft breaking down the pales of force of reason, or by some habit that too much or leavens the form of plots and manners, that these men carrying, I say, the stamp of one defect, being nature's livery or fortune's star, their virtues else by they as pure as grace, as infinite as man may undergo, shall in the general censure take corruption from that particular fault. The dram of eel doth all the noble substance of a doubt to his own scandal. Look, my lord, it comes angels and ministers of grace to defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned. Bring thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell, by thy intents, wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal dame. Oi, answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones hearsed in death have burst their cerements? Why the sepulchre, wherein we saw thee quietly inurned, hath oped his ponderous marble jaws to cast thee up again? What may this mean, that thou dead corse again in complete steel, revisitest thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we fools of nature so horridly she shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls? Say, why is this? Wherefore, what should we do? It beckons you to go away with it, as if it's some impartment to desire you alone. Look, with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it. No, by no means. It will not speak. Then will I follow it. Do not, my lord. Why, what should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pen's fee, and for my soul what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? It weighs me forth again, I'll follow it. What if it tempts you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles o'er his base into the sea, and there assumes some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it, the very place puts toys of desperation without more motive into every brain that looks so many fathoms to the sea and hears it roar beneath. It weighs me still. Go on, I'll follow thee. You shall not go, my lord. Hold off your hands. Be ruled, you shall not go. My fate cries out and makes each pretty artery in this body as hardy as a Nemean lion's nerve. Still am I called. Unhand me, gentlemen. By heavens, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. I'll say away. Go on, I'll follow thee. He waxes desperate with imagination. Let's follow, 'tis not fit thus to obey him. Have after, to what issue will this come? Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Heaven will direct it. Nay, let's follow him. Scene 5, another part of the platform. Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further. Mark me. I will. My hour is almost come. When I do, sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself. Alas, poor ghost, pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold. Speak, I am bound to hear. So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear? What? I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast and fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away, but that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could a tale unfold whose lightest words would harrow up my soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars charged from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part and each particular hair to stand on end, like quills upon the fretful porpentine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, list, oi list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love, oi God, revenge his foul and most unnatural murder. Murder? Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural. Haste me to know that I, with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love, may sweep on my revenge. I find thee apt, and duller shalt thou be than the fat weed that rots itself in eaves on Leith wharf. Wouldst thou not stir in this? Now, Hamlet, here, 'tis given out that, sleeping in mine orchard, a serpent stung me, and the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting in thy father's life now wears his crown. Oi, my prophetic soul, my uncle. I, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, oi, wicked wit and gifts that have the power so to seduce. One to his shameful lust, the will of my most seaman virtuous queen. Oi, Hamlet, what a falling off was there! From me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand even with the vow I made in her marriage, and the decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts was poor to those of mine. But virtue as it never will be moved, though lewdness court it in the shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air, brief let me be, sleeping within mine orchard, my custom always in the afternoon, upon my secure hour, thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Habana in a vial, and in the porches of mine ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man that swift as quicksilver it courses through that natural gates and allies of the body, and with a sudden vigor it doth beset, and curd like eavesdropping in milk, the thin and wholesome blood, so did it mine, in a most instant tedder barked about, most laser-like, with vile and loathsome crust, all my smooth body. Thus was I, sleeping a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even in the bosoms of my sin, unhouselled, disappointed, unhangled, no reckon made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oi, horrible, or horrible, most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But whosoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy hand, nor let thy soul deprive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those horns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and gins to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, Hamlet, remember me, blossom. Oh, all you hosts of heaven, O earth, what else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fie, hold my heart, and you my sinews grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee, I, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee, yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records. I'll solve books, all forms, all pressures past, that youth and observation copy there. And thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven, a most pernicious woman, a villain smile, and damned villain. My tables meet it is I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I am sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word, it is adieu, adieu. Remember me, I have sworn it. My lord, Lord Hamlet, heaven secure him, so be it. Hello, ho, ho, my lord. Hello, ho, ho, bird, come. How is my noble lord? What news, my noble lord? Oh, wonderful. Good, my lord, tell it. No, you will reveal it. Not I, my lord, by heaven. Nor I, my lord. Now say you then, would heart of man once think it, but you'll be secret? Aye, by heaven, my lord. There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an arrant knave. There's needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this. Why, right, you are I, the right, and so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you, for every man hath business and desire, such as it is, and for my own poor part, look you, I'll go pray. These are but wild and whirling words, my lord. I am sorry they offend you heartily, yet, faith, heartily. There's no offence, my lord. Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offence too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost that lets me tell you, for your desire to know what is between us, or master eyes, as you may. And now, good friends, as your friends, scholars, and soldiers, give me one poor request. What is, my lord? We will. Never make known what you have seen tonight. My lord, we will not. Nay, but swear it, in faith, my lord, not I. Nor I, my lord, in faith. Upon my sword. We have sworn, my lord, already, indeed, upon my sword, indeed. Swear. Aha, boy, say'st thou so? Art thou there, true penny? Come on, you hear this fellow in this cellage, constant to swear. Purpose the oath, my lord, never to speak of this that you have seen, swear by my sword. Swear, hic it a book, then we'll shift our ground, come hither, gentlemen. And lay your hand again upon my sword, never to speak of this that you have erred, swear by my sword. Swear. Well said, old mole, canst work I the earth so fast? I, worthy pioneer, once more remove, good friends, oi day and night, but this is wondrous strange, and therefore as strange give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never so help your mercy how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such time see me never shall with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or my pronouncing of some doubtful phrase. Well, well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list to speak, or there be, and if they might, or such ambitious giving out, to note that you know aught of me, this not to do, so grace and mercy at your most needs help you swear. Swear. Rest, rest. Perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love, I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do, to express his love and friending to you. God willing shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint, O cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Enemy UAV is online. Hostile UAV in the area.
Oh no, okay. So before we get into the 4th of July here, we're going to do Act 2 of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, Scene 1, a room in Polonius' house. Give him this money and these notes, Ronaldo. I will, my lord. You shall do marvelous, wisely, good Ronaldo, before you visit him to make inquiry of his behavior. My lord, I didn't intend it. Marry, well said, very well said. Look you, sir, inquire me first what danskers are in Paris, and how and who and what means and where they keep, what company at what expense, and finding by this encompassment and drift a question that they do know my son. Come you more nearer, then your particular demand to touch it. Take you, as still some distant knowledge of him. As thus I know his father and his friends, and impart him. Do you mark this, Ronaldo? Aye, very well, my lord. And impart him. But you may say, not well. But if be he I mean, he's very wild. Addicted so and so. And there put on him what forgeries you please. Marry, none so rank as may dishonor him. Take heed of that. But sir, such wanton, wild, and usual slips as our companions noted and most known to youth and liberty. As gaming, my lord? Aye, or drinking, fencing, swearing, quarreling, drabbing, you may go so far. My lord, that would dishonor him. Faith, no. As you may season it in the charge, you must not put another scandal on him, that he is open to incontinency. That's not my meaning, but breathe his faults so quaintly that they may seem the taints of liberty, the flash and outbreak of a fiery mind, a savageness and unreclaimed blood, of general assault. But, my good lord, wherefore should you do this? Aye, my lord, I would know that. Marry, sir, here's my drift, and I believe it is a fetch of warrant, you laying these slight soles of my son. As 'twere a thing little soiled, I the working, mark you, your party and converse, him you would sound having ever seen in the predominate crimes, the youth that you breathe of guilty, be assured he closes with you in this consequence. Good sir, or so, or friend, or gentleman, according to the phrase, or the addition of man and country. Very good, my lord. And then, sir, does he this? He does. What was I about to say? By the mass, I was about to say something. Where did I leave? At closes in the consequence. At friend or so, and gentlemen. At closes in the consequence. Aye, marry. He closes with you thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday to the other day, or then, with such or such, and as you say, there was a gaming. There are chickens roused, they're falling out of tennis, or perchance I saw him enter such a house, a sale, a brothel, or so forth. See you now. Your bait or falsehood takes his carp of truth, and thus dewy of wisdom and of reach with wild lasses, and with assays of bias. By indirections find directions out. So by my former lecture and advice shall you, my son. You have me, have you not?
You just made a fatal mistake.
My lord, I have. God be we you, fare you well. Good, my lord. Observe his inclination in yourself. I shall, my lord, and let him ply his music. Well, my lord, farewell. Now, Ophelia, what's the matter? Alas, my lord, I have been so affrighted. With what? In the name of God? My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, and down guyed to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous and purport as if he had been loosed out of hell, to speak of horrors, he comes before me. Mad for thy love? My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it. What said he? He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow he falls so much through of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of my arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound that it did seem so shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. For out o' doors he went without their help, and to the last bidden their light on me. Come, go with me, I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property fordues itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings as oft as any passion under heaven that does afflict our natures. I am sorry, what have you given him any hard words of late? No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters, and denied his access to me. That hath made him mad. I am sorry that it was better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle, and meant to rack thee, but beshrew my jealousy. By heaven, it is proper to our age to cast beyond ourselves and our opinions, as it is common for the youngest sort to lack discretion. Come, go we to the king. This must be known, which being kept close might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love. Come. Scene 2, a room in the castle. Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you. The need we have to use did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? So I call it, since nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. What it should be more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days, brought up with him, and since so neighbor to his youth and humor, that you vouchsafe your rest here in your court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on our pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, where aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that open lies within our remedy. Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am 2 men there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us more gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a while, you'll further fly and profit of our hope. Your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance. Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty. But we both obey, and here give of ourselves in the full bent to lay our service free at your feet, to be commanded. Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern. Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is. Heaven make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him. Aye, amen. The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned. Thou still hast been the father of the good news. Have I, my lord? Assure you, my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not betrayal policy, so sure it has it used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy. Oi, speak of that do I long to hear. Give first admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be the fruit to the great feast. Thyself do grace to them, and bring them in. He tells me, my sweet queen, that he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper. I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our o'er hasty marriage. Well, we shall sift him. Welcome, my good friends. Voltaman, or from my brother Norman Wade. Most fair return of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Polic. But better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness, whereat grieved that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrest on Fortinbras, which he in brief obeys. Receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine makes vow before his uncle never before to give the essay of arms against your majesty. Whereon old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee, and is commissioned to employ those soldiers so levied as before against the Polic, with an entreaty herein further shown, that it might please you to give quite pass through your dominions for this enterprise, on such regards of safety and allowance as therein are set down. It likes us well, and at our more considered time will read, answer, and think upon this business. Meantime, we thank you for your well-took labor. Go to your rest, that tonight we'll feast together. Most welcome home. This business is well ended, my liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, and time is time, where nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad I call it, for to define true madness what is't but to be nothing else but mad. But let that go. More matter with less art. Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true, 'tis pity. And pity 'tis true, a foolish figure. But farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad let us grant him, then and now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say, the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus perpend. I have a daughter, have why she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this, now gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear, thus in her excellent white bosom these and see. Came this from Hamlet to her? Good madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun doth move. Doubt truth to be a liar. But never doubt I love. O dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best. Oh, most best, believe it. Adieu. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him. Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above hath his solicitings, as they fell out of my time, by means and place all given to my ear. But how hath she received his love? What do you think of me? As a man faithful and honorable, I would fain prove so. But what might you think? When I had seen this hot love on the wing, as I perceived it, I must tell you that, before my daughter told me. What might you, or my dear majesty, your queen here, think if I had played the desk or table book, or given my heart a winking, mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with idle sight? What might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince, out of thy star. This might not be. And then I precepts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens. When done, she took the fruit of my advice, and he repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence to a watch, thence into a weakness, thence to a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raves, in all we fail for. Do you think 'tis this? It may be, very likely. Hath there been such a time? I'd fain know that I'd have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise. Now that I know, take this from this, if this be otherwise. If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center. How may we try it further? You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby. So he does indeed. At such a time I'll loose my daughter to him, be you and I behind in a wrath then. Mark the encounter if he love her not, and be not from his reason fallen thereon. Let me be no assistant for estate, but keep a farm and carters. We will try it, but look, where sadly the poor wretch cometh reading. Away, I do beseech you, both away, I'll board him presently. Oi, give me leave. How does my good lord Hamlet? Well, God of mercy, do you know me, my lord? Excellent, well, you are a fishmonger. Not I, my lord. Then I would you were so honest a man. Honest, my lord. Aye, sir, to be honest as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000. That's very true, my lord. For if the sun breed maggots and a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion, have you a daughter? I have, my lord. Let her not walk I, the sun, conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to't. How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter? Yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone, and truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love. Very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord? Words, words, words. What is the matter, my lord? Between who? I mean the matter what you read, my lord. Slanders, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit together with most weak hands. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down, for you yourself, sir, should be old as I am, if, like a crab, you could go backwards. Though this be madness, yet there is method in't. Will you walk out of the air, my lord? Into my grave? Indeed, that is out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are, the happiness that often man hits on, which reason and insanity could not so prosperously be delivered of. I will leave him, and suddenly contrive the means of meeting between him and my daughter. My honorable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you. You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part withal, except my life, except my life, except my life. Fare you well, my lord, these tedious old fools. You go to seek the Lord, Hamlet, there he is. God save you, sir. Mine honored lord, my most dear lord, my excellent good friends, how dost thou Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz, good lads, how do you both? As the indifferent children of the earth, happy in that we are not very happy, unfortunate cap, we are not to the very button. Not the soles of her shoe? Neither, my lord. Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favors? Faith, her privates we. In the secret parts of fortune? Oy, most true, she is a strumpet. What news? None, my lord, but that you words grown honest. Then in doomsday near that your news is not true. Let me question more in particular what have you, my good friends, and deserved at the hands of fortune, that she sends you to prison hither. Prison, my lord. Denmark's a prison. Then is the world one? A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst. We think not so, my lord. Why then, 'tis none to you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me it is a prison. Why, then your ambitions make it one, 'tis too narrow for your mind. Oi, God! I could be bound in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I had bad dreams. Which dreams? Indeed, are ambition, for the very substance of ambition is merely the shadow of a dream. A dream itself is but a shadow. Truly, and I hold that ambition of so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow. Then are our beggars' bodies, and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggar's shadow? Shall we to the court? For by my faith I cannot reason. We'll wait upon you. No such matter, I will not sort you with the rest of my servants, For to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore? To visit you, my lord, no other occasion. Beggar that I am even poor in thanks. But I thank you, and sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, come, deal justly with me, come, nay, speak. What should we say, my lord? Why, anything, but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there's a kind of a confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and the queen have sent for you. To what end, my lord? That you must teach me. But let me conjure you by the rights of your fellowship, by the constancy of your youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear a better proposer could charge you withal. Be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no. What say you? Nay, then I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off. My lord, we were sent for. I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secret to the queen mote no feather? I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition, that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave herring firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire, why it appears no other thing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form, in moving, how express and admirable, in action how like an angel, in apprehension how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me what is the quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, no, nor women neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so. My lord, there was such stuff in my thoughts. Why did you laugh then when I said men delights not me? To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coated them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service. He that plays the king shall be welcome. His majesty shall have tribute of me. The adventurous knight shall use his foil and target. The lover shall not sigh gratis. The humorous man shall end his part in peace. The clown shall make those laugh whose lungs are tickle or the sere. And the lady shall say her mind freely, or the blank verse shall halt for it. What players are they? Even those you were wont to take delight in the tragedians of the city. How chances it they travel? Their residence, both in reputation and profit, was better both ways. I think their inhibition comes by the means of late innovation. Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? Are they so followed? No, indeed, they are not. How comes it? Do they grow rusty? Nay, their endeavor keeps in the wonted peace. But there is, sir, an area of children, little aesses. They cry out on the top of question, and are most tyrannically clapped for it. These are now the fashion, and so berattle the common stages, so they call them, that many wearing rapiers are afraid of goose quills, and dare scarce come thither. What are thy children? Who maintains them? How are they escorted? Will they pursue the quality no longer than they can sing? Will they not say afterwards that they should grow themselves to common players, as it is most like if their means are no better? Their writers do them wrong, to make them exclaim against their own succession. We are not friends. Faith, there has been much to do on both sides, and the nation holds it in no sin to tear them to controversy. There was for a while no money bid for argument, unless the poet and the player went to cuffs in the question. Is it possible? Oi, there has been much throwing about of brains. Do the boys carried away? Ha! Aye, that they do, my lord Hercules and his load too. It is not very strange. For my uncle is king of Denmark, and those that would make mows of him wife my father lives, give 20, 40, 50, and 100 ducats apiece for his picture in little. S'blood, there is something in this more than natural, if philosophy could find it out. They're the players. Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands come then. The appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with you in this garb, lest my accent to the players, which I tell you must show fairly outward, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome, but my uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived. In what, my dear lord? I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw. Well, be with you, gentlemen. Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too, at each ear a hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of the swaddling clouds. Haply he's the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child. Our prophecy he comes to tell me of the players' market. You say right, sir, away Monday morning 'twas so indeed. My lord, I have news to tell you. My lord, I have news to tell you when Roscius was an actor in Rome. The actors have come hither, my lord. Buzz, buzz. Upon my honor. Then came each actor on his ass. The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, comical, historical, pastoral, scene individual, or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautus too light. For the law of risk and liberty, these are the only ones. Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hast thou? What a treasure had he, my lord? Why, one fair daughter, and no more, the which he loved passing well. Still on my daughter, am I not I the right old Jephthah? If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I have a daughter that I love passing well. Nay, that follows me not. What follows, then, my lord? Why? As by lot God what? And then you know. It came to pass as most like it was. The first row of the pious chancellor will show you more, for look where my abridgment comes. You are welcome, masters. Welcome all. I am glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friend, or my old friend. Thy face is valiant since I saw thee last. Comest thou to be beard in Denmark? What, my young lady and mistress? By our lady, your ladyship was never heaven than when I saw you last by the altitude of a chopine. Pray God your voice like a piece of uncurrent gold be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you are all welcome. We'll in too like French falconers, fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech straight. Come give us a taste of your quality. Come a passionate speech. What speech, my good lord? I heard thee speak as a speech once, but it was never acted, or it was not above once. For the play, I remember, pleased not the million. 'Twas caviare to the general, but it was as I received, and others whose judgments in such matters cried at the top of mine. An excellent play, well digested in the scenes, set down with as much modesty as cunning. I remember once that there was no salads in the lines to make the matter savory, nor no matter in the phrase that might indict the author or affection, but called it an honest method as wholesome as sweet, and by very much more handsome than fine. One speech in it I chiefly loved was Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout of it especially where he speaks of Priam's slaughter, if it live in your memory. Begin at this line, let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast, 'tis not so, it begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arm, black as his purpose, did the knight resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal, head to foot, now is he total ghouls, horridly tricked with blood of feathers, mothers, daughters, sons, backed in and passed with the parching streets that lend a tyrannous and demand light to the vile murders, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus were sides with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam seeks. So proceed you. For God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion. Anon he finds him striking too short at Greeks, his antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, in rage strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium seemed to feel his blow, with flaming top stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash take prisoner Pyrrhus' ear. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed I the heir to stick. So as I painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a natural to his will and matter did nothing, but as we often see against some storm, a silence in the heavens. The rack stands still. The bold wind speechless, and the orb below is hushed as death. Anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So, after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new a work. And never did the Cyclops' hammers fail, and Mars' armor, forged for proof etern, with less remorse from Pyrrhus' bleeding sword, now falls on Priam. Out, out, thou strumpet! Fortune, all your gods! In general Sanaa take away her power. Break all the spokes and fellies from her wheel, and bowl around, nave down the hill of heaven, as low as to the fiends. This is too long. It shall be the barber's with your beard. Prithee, say on, he's for a jig or a tale of bawdy, or he sleeps. Say on, come to Hecuba. But who had seen the mobile queen? The mobile queen? That's good. Mobile queen is good. Run barefoot up and down, threatening and flamed, with bison room, a clout upon that head where late and diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all o'er teem loins, a blanket in alarm of fear caught up, who this had seen with tongue and venom steeped, gainst fortune's state with treason had pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport, and mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal moved them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven and passionate gods. Look, where he has not turned his color and has tears in his eyes. Prithee, no more. 'Tis well, I'll have thee speak out of the rest soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear, let them be well used, for they're the abstracts and brief chronicles of the time. After your death you're better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live. My lord, I will use them according to their desert. Gods bodikins, man much better. Use every man after his desert, and who should escape whipping? Use him after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is your bounty. Take them in. Come, sirs. Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago? Aye, my lord. Well, hatch tomorrow night you could for a need study a speech of some 12 or 6 lines, which I would set down and insert into, could you not? Aye, my lord. Very well, follow that, lord, and look you mock him not. My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore. Good, my lord. Aye, so, God, we be ye, now I am lone. Or we would a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage warned, tears in his eyes, distraction in aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suited with forms to his conceit. And all for nothing? For Hecuba? What's Hecuba to him, for he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the sage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appeal the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and money-meddled rascal, peak like a John of dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie at the throat as deep as to the lungs? Who does me this? Ha! Swoons, I would take it, for it cannot be. But I am a pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with the slave offal. Bloody body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain, or vengeance. Why, what an ass am I! This is most brave that I, the son of dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words, and fall a cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Fie upon foe, About my brain, I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by very cunning of the scene been struck to be the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yeah, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.